Hello there again, I'm Dan Holman. I'm talking to you from Luseland, Saskatchewan. This video today is about how we unload fertilizer out of our rail cars. I'm very excited about the opportunity to be able to do this, and it provides an additional capacity for our farm and also an additional service to our suppliers to allow them to ship us fertilizer in bulk and rail car. So while you're watching this video, you're going to learn about how to properly position the conveyor underneath the rail car for unloading. You're going to learn about the modifications that we made in our shop to the equipment to make it more user-friendly. You're going to learn about the tools we made to open the hopper gates and how we modified them to make the system work better. And you're going to be able to see how fertilizer flows out of the rail car and into the truck that's waiting to take it away to be hauled to a bin in our yard. So I hope you enjoy the video, and here we go. Here you can watch some fertilizer coming out of a rail car. Now that our rail cars are in position, we can begin to set up our conveyors to unload the fertilizer. First, we position a sheet of plywood under the rail car hopper to catch any spills. Next, we position the small yellow conveyor under the rail car, taking care to allow access to the rail car hopper opener mechanism. Then, we move the larger orange Batco conveyor into position so it catches the flow of fertilizer from the yellow conveyor.
Okay, so this is our little conveyor we use for underneath the rail car. We bought it new, but we did some modifications to it to make it a little bit more efficient and easier to move and everything else. First thing we did is we made this spout just out of some old swather canvas. Just makes it a little bit easier to get everything into the other conveyor. The next thing we did was, it only came with this little tiny handle on it. This little yellow handle might be hard to see, but it was kind of finicky and hard to move just with that little handle. So we ended up building this bigger frame that gets attached at a few points here and here, and it's just, everything's just bolted on too, so it can go back to like original specs in a very short period of time. But it just makes it a little bit easier to move in and around in the shop and out here. And the other thing we did was this goes in the end there to tow it behind the truck to storage, or out here, or to the shop for maintenance. And then when it's in the shop for maintenance, you can take this out, put this in the end, and then it just wheels around the shop very easily, and you don't have to worry about it scuffing the floor or nothing. And it was just some more recycled material we had laying around. So that's basically what we have done to this conveyor to make it a little bit more efficient around the farm, or around here. And then to move it, moves pretty easy, and if you have to, this handle's big enough to get two guys on it if it's in deep snow or whatever. Anyways.
For safety reasons, we never position our unloading equipment underneath the cars until the cars are positioned on the track where we want them to be. Once our cars are in the place that works for us to unload, then we will start lining up our other equipment. And so what we have here is our rail car. You'll notice that we haven't begun on this car yet. The seal is still on the bottom gate. That's to show that it hasn't been tampered with during shipping and so on. And so before we start unloading, we'll remove that seal, then we'll start firing up our equipment.
So everybody told us it's impossible to open these cars at the bottom because they're always stuck and frozen and old and whatever. So we came up with all these little gadgets, like we have a pipe wrench if they really don't want to. So, and all the cars, like it seems like on the bottom they have different sizes of holes, so you open them. So we came up with this solid piece of shaft. This is for the small ones, for a small hole. So basically we'll sit that in a hole and we'll lay it on that little tripod so it doesn't just supports it. And then we've got a ratchet here. So I'll just set this down for a while. And like we made like two little adapters. So this is for the bigger shaft. And this is the adapter. with a 3/4 socket on it for a small shaft. So we got an old-fashioned ratchet here to crank them. And here's our big shaft. It's quite heavy stuff, so you need to go to the gym if you want to do this all the time. So this is for the big cars. And then if everything else fails, we came up with a little hand crank here. You guys will see the middle is a sprocket, old sprocket, and we just added this. So if they're not too tough, you can actually just use this hand crank. But if they're really stuck, then you use the ratchet. So basically these tools, that's what you will need if you want to do this. It solves the problem and it works well. So here we got our fancy tool setup. This is for the big bar in here. So basically we got our ratchet here, got the stand in. The most important part, they come with a little latch here to keep the hoppers from opening. So we release that. So we should be able just to crank this hopper open and fertilizer should come out on the bottom. That's the plan. I'm going to crank it a little bit and we'll see if we got a little bit of product there. Oh, might take a bit, boys. JC, you have a copy?
Sir?
Can you help it with the pipe rings on that side a bit?
Will do.
There we go. We'll start our conveyors now because we don't want to let the product out before they're running. So I'll start with this one. So that's the end result. So hopefully everything goes. And we'll give it some throttle. And we'll kick the belt in. That one is running. Okay, we'll start this little one. There's a little bit of fertilizer there. So you'll see it come there, up there. Should be good.
Well, there you have it. As you can see, with the proper tools, the proper trained people, and skilled individuals, we can do a safe and efficient job of taking fertilizer or any other bulk commodity out of rail car on a rail siding here in Luseland, Saskatchewan.